What's going on, you guys? This be your boy Scattered by Nature TV and my guy, Rodney the Voice. Okay, what's going on?
What's up?
Listen, we had to do a little sound check before we came up here, but we here though. It's already like over 300 of y'all up in here, but we are in the building already. Okay, we are in here. I know a lot of your cousins is in the building. you know they all in the building. So
act like we got some sense since we're in somebody else's house tonight, okay? Don't come over here acting like you ain't got no sense.
Okay, so first things first, you guys. So as you guys already know what this is about the Real Housewives of Potomac. It's about a lot of the things that's going on with the Real Housewives of Potomac. And they've been all over the blogs. A lot of us YouTubers been talking about the stuff that's been going on. And I was at work the other day and I just came up with this idea off the top of my head. And I was like, I want to do a live about this, but who better to talk about this with other than Roddy the Voice?
Who got the most to say? And think he's right.
Exactly. Okay. I said, now he is the right. I went back and forth. I was like, it got to be between Rodney or Erica. Rodney or Erica. Like I already did a one-on-one thing with Erica before, so I never did a one-on-one thing with you.
Right.
So I was like, let me do it with Rodney. So before we even start this, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. So when you look at what's going on with Wendy and the rest of the women, not only Wendy, but Candace and the rest of the women, is it sort of reminiscent of what happened on another reality show with the cast member by the name of OG? Do you see the same things or is it a little bit different?
I feel like it's kind of similar because it's almost, I think some people try to just reduce it down to, the pretty girls or the mean girls or the in clique kind of messing with the new girl. Sometimes I feel like it's not as simple as that. I think at first glance, I could see how somebody could kind of just narrow it down to,
hold on, wait. They say put your mic on.
Put my mic on?
Yeah.
It's not gonna mess up the
Yeah, it might not mess it up. Just try it.
Okay. Hello.
You good.
I'm good.
Can y'all hear him better now? Say something, Rodney.
What's up?
Okay, they should be able to hear you now. Continue on. They'll let us know.
I think sometimes people kind of like narrow it down to like the mean girls, the new girls, kind of hazing. I mean, the old girls hazing the new girl, but it does remind me of kind of like the situation with OG. It does.
I was thinking the same thing, and there were some people that were telling me that I was reaching. And you know, a lot of the times when we have this conversation, people think that we're reaching, and I don't think that we're reaching. And I'm gonna ask you this too. It's like this. Some people when it came down to OG on not a Housewives, but Basketball Wives, they would say it's not colorism; they just don't like her. But then I hear people say that the same thing about Wendy. It's not colorism. They just don't like her. So it's like, do you think that that's what it is? Or do you think that, you know?
Okay, so this is what I think. I think that in some situations, it can just be a case of you just don't like somebody. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you being dark skinned or a woman or gay or trans. I just can't stand your ass.
Right.
But I think that we have to look at it through a lens of, for some reason, what I've noticed is that, especially like with Black folk, is that we have a hard time having a conversation about colorism. I don't know why, because if it was another situation, and I've used this as an example before, if it was a situation like on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where we have Lisa Rinna, the white castmate, the way that she speaks to Garcelle. I remember there was a scene one time where Lisa kind of popped her neck and was like, so are you saying I have an attitude, Garcelle? And everybody caught what was going on. We started yelling microaggression and the white lady is attacking the Black lady. But for some reason, when it comes to dealing with issues within our own, we tend to just make it seem as though, they just being mean. No, sometimes it's deeper than just being mean.
So I always have this question because for me, I feel like people are quick to pick up what racism is, but it's like when it comes down to colorism, they don't. It's like they don't want to acknowledge that it's colorism. It's I don't know why they don't, but they don't. Like they can point out a racist from a mile away, but when it comes down to someone being colorist or portraying themselves as colorist or doing colorist things, they don't pick up on it. I don't know why.
Scotty, I don't know either. I don't know. I think that a lot of things that happen, it kind of mirrors like what white folk do. I'm not even
Right.
kind of like BS you. Like, I think that for some reason with black people, and this is no shade to like lighter skinned people, it's almost like when white people don't want to have a conversation about racism, or they don't want racism to be discussed in schools because they feel as though it's making, the white people of today feel bad, or, it's not my fault that slavery happened. And it's not that we're saying that, just like with lighter skinned black folk, we're not saying that you're responsible for colorism, but girl, you benefit from. I mean,
right.
We have to call it what it is. So it's not that, girl, you have to take on the whole colorism issue on your shoulders, but girl, you need to acknowledge that in some situations, a lot of situations, girl, colorism plays a big role in the way that we think, and we may not even know it. It's kind of like a white lady who clutches her purse at her side when black people walk by, and she doesn't realize she's doing it.
Right. Someone did that to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was at work one day. I was walking into work one day and I was on my phone talking to my mother on the phone. And I was walking past like this white lady. She had like, she was getting in her car and I was walking past and I wasn't even thinking about her. And when I saw her, she did like,
right. So it's like, to me, it's almost like people don't realize that we've been conditioned to think that like darker skinned people are less than lighter skinned people. So sometimes people may not even realize that those thoughts that they have, they've been conditioned to think that way, but those thoughts are still there. And then when people call it out, it's like, no, I just don't like the bitch. No, it's more than you just not liking the girl.
And then you know what? There's a lot of things that I did not notice about, I didn't know it was colorism in the past, but me being older, I know what it is. Because, growing up, you heard people say, get your black ass in out. Your black ass, your black, stuff like that. And I never thought that was anything bad because that's something that we hear all the time, So we don't think that is anything bad. But I remember my mother saying, I really believe my grandmama was a colorist. I mean, anytime it was somebody dark skinned, she had something bad to say about them. But if they were light skinned, she had something good to say about them, So it's
like one of those things when people say stuff like, she's pretty to be a dark skinned girl.
Yeah. I never understood that.
Colorism doesn't exist.
And you know what? I think that I never understood that because, besides me doing YouTube, I've always been like into like writing and stuff. So I would sit there and write like a short story. And every time I would write the story, I would always envision a woman being a darker skinned woman. I never wanted any character of mine to be light skinned or anything like that. It was always a darker thing. Right. Like even when I was sitting out here pretending like I liked women, I liked darker skin. Okay. I like darker skin, women and stuff like that. Even now, so people don't realize that when you say, well, you look good to be a dark skinned girl or you look good to be a dark skinned guy, that is an insult.
It's very much an insult. It's like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like when people say stuff like, oh, you look cute today, or you losing weight, you look good. Like, I didn't look good when I was a little thicker.
Right.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Or even when people say you too cute to be gay, and it's like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Let me ask you another thing, because we're gonna dive. Because I have a lot of questions for you. Because I just want to know what you think, and then we're gonna, I'm gonna ask you the question. We're gonna have a conversation, whatnot. Okay. So some people would say, well, Giselle and Robin, I've seen people say it now. This ain't nothing I'm making up. I've seen people say it on the blogs and stuff. Well, Giselle and Robin, They're not colorists. They're really good friends with Sharice. So they're not colorists. That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean nothing to me.
I mean, Caucasian women.
Sharice not even that dark, anyways. Second of all, it's almost like saying it's kind of like you're trying. It's like the white person who says I can't be racist because I have a black friend, and then when you meet the black friend, it's a black dude with spiky hair. He wear hot topics. He golf. You know what I'm saying? Like your best friend ain't black like this.
But even then, though, it's like with Caucasian women. Caucasian women ride on black dick all the time, and they still don't like black people.
That's another example. They love BBC, but can't stand black women.
Right.
So, you can't really use. I hear I don't know why they use it as they get a pass. No.
They always do that, but some people some people make them feel like they can get one. You feel what I'm saying? Like they don't hold them accountable for anything. So one of the more recent things that happened was Wendy. Mm-hmm. As we see now, Wendy is public enemy number one. Mm-hmm. To me, she's public enemy number one. Mm-hmm. And Robin been coming for her. Giselle been coming for her. At this point, Sharice is starting to come for her too. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what I said on my review Sunday. And I want to know if you agree with this. So I said, all of y'all in this circle have done stuff to one another. Like Ashley, she talked about Robin and her finances. She talked about Robin and Juan. She talked about their non-relationship. She talked about all of that. Mm-hmm. But somehow, some way, Robin forgave her, and they now, buddies and stuff. Mm-hmm. Giselle, Ashley said stuff about you too, but you quickly forgave her. Now y'all all buddy. Wendy cusses you out for bringing up something from a blog that you claim is not credible. Mm-hmm. Which is something crazy within itself. Because if it's not credible, why you bringing up something from a non-credible source? Then, Robin, you got cussed out because you jumped in the argument that had nothing to do with you. But now you mad at Wendy, still mad at her over that. But y'all have done countless things to one another, and y'all forgiving each other. So why can't they forgive Wendy? Or why can't they move past it?
And I think that's the part where I feel like that's the part where reality TV kind of comes in, and then also just reality. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's the aftermath. When Ashley tried to say a couple of weeks ago, I've had I don't know if you saw when she made the live, and she had conflict with everybody, blah blah blah. Yeah, you've had conflict with everybody. But out of that conflict, the only person that you've referred to as ferocious is a dark-skinned woman.
Right.
You didn't refer to, when Robin came and put her finger in your face at your job, you didn't refer to Robin as ferocious or aggressive.
And that was
Robin,
aggressive.
You didn't refer to Ashley when she was all up in your business and saying you had 16 cents in your Bank of America account. You didn't refer to her as antagonistic or ferocious. You know what I'm saying? So why is it now when it's Wendy, y'all use the words ferocious, antagonistic? It's the more of the aftermath for me. Okay, y'all have conflict, but how do you deal with each other after you've had this conflict? And that's where you start to see the difference in how they treat Wendy and Candace,
right?
Treat each other. And then that's when it's just reality TV. Well, it's just this. Well, they just have a job to do. Okay.
It's, to me, and it goes right back to one of the first questions that I asked you was, it goes right back to Basketball Wives to me. It's like with OG, for example. And what's really crazy to me is that I see people noticing the colorism thing with the Wendy and Candace thing, but they did not want to see it with OG. I don't understand it. Okay. But when it came down to OG, they did the same thing to her. They can threaten to whoop people's asses. They can say how they gonna punch them in the face. They can say all types of stuff. But when OG does it, you're aggressive. I can't be on the same stage with you. I can't. Mm-hmm. But then when we say that, then people will be like, Well, she was aggressive. Okay, so what? She was aggressive, but so were they. That's the problem. So
She
were they.
she was aggressive, but she didn't throw no wine bottles across the room.
Right.
Evelyn. She didn't hop on a table and do the 100-yard dash on somebody's dining room table. Evelyn. So me saying I'm gonna whoop your ass is completely different than me throwing a wine bottle across the room.
I mean, because I say that a minute that I whoop somebody's ass and I don't want to fight you.
Right.
You know, like if I get
whoop
mad
somebody
enough,
every day, it ain't touch nobody.
like I get mad enough. I'll be like, I will fuck you up. I don't want to fight you, but I'm mad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Exactly.
and I ain't been in a listen. I ain't been in no fight since 2011. I want to keep it that way.
Right.
Cause listen,
the same way.
I say it all the time. I didn't pay good money for these teeth. Ain't nobody finna knock them out my mouth. I ain't finna play that game. I ain't finna play that game. Period.
I'm ducking and diving.
But okay. So my thing with Wendy is I don't think she's really doing anything. I don't think she's doing anything worse than what they are doing. My problem with it is they find fault in everything that Wendy does. You feel what I'm saying? No matter what she does, they find fault in it. And it's like the way Robin was beating on the tables, yelling how she didn't give a fuck and all this other shit. If Wendy or Candace did that, they would have said that she was aggressive. Now, even after Mia has thrown a drink in her face, and not only has she thrown a drink in her face, she hit her with a pocketbook like Jennifer Hudson did. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, okay, now she's pissed off and she talking shit, but y'all making it seem like she can't talk shit now because of the fact that, you antagonizing her. You damn right I'm antagonizing her. At this point.
You just threw a apple martini in my face. You done hit me with a Louis bag. I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm gonna talk about you. I'm gonna talk about your husband. I'm gonna talk about your dog. I'm gonna talk about your cat. I might talk about your dead grandmama. It just depends. Like at this point, it is what it is. Because let's start at the beginning. I wouldn't be doing all of this if you would have kept that drink on that table.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be doing all of this if you would have kept that pocketbook on that table.
Exactly.
Like, in the simple fact that everybody, not everybody, some people, I just told a lie. Some people are still trying. You're worried about Wendy's response instead of worrying about what led up to Wendy's response.
Yeah, because Wendy didn't. Because I had to go back and watch that more than once.
6 times.
Yes, to make sure if I wasn't tripping. Because I went off for 2 hours in my review about that episode. I went out for 2 hours, okay?
I be talking. You know that. 2 hours.
So I'm like, okay, so did I overlook something or what? And I went back and I looked at it and I'm like, I didn't overlook shit. She really didn't do anything. Like she wasn't doing nothing but talking shit. Like she wasn't really talking shit though. She basically said, why do I need to check in with another man for? Like, and after she said that, she just then threw the drink. I'm just like, girl, really?
Scotty, I'm telling you, like I watched it again before we went live because I was like, let me just make sure. I don't want to get on Scotty live talking outside of my neck. So let me just watch this shit again. And I watched the last 30 minutes again. And honestly, it has nothing to do with me because I'm Team Wendy, but I've been Team Wendy since the first season. It has nothing to do with me being Team Wendy. Wendy really did not do anything to Mia for it to have blown up to that. Wendy was literally minding her business. Like
Mia was looking for a problem.
And then when she got out and she played like a white woman, oh my God, calling her husband, look at my nail. Girl, you broke your own nail. How you break 6 nails and then call your husband like, oh my God, look at my hand. Well, girl, you beat yourself up, Mia. And now you trying to act like Wendy done touched you. No, we're not gonna play that game.
Yeah, Mia was looking for a problem from the beginning. She was looking for a problem.
Straight up. If she was gonna have and this is where I have a problem. If Mia really wanted to genuinely have an issue with somebody, it really should have been Giselle and Robin, just for the simple fact that they even walked up to your face questioning whether. Now, everybody thought Mia was lying about having cancer, but if you were gonna make an issue with somebody, it should have been Giselle and Robin. Because at
That's
that
what
point,
I
you would have
said.
legitimate reason to go after them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're questioning whether or not I have cancer. But no, you give Giselle a hug, go out to lunch with Robin, and we want to fight Wendy. What? Where am I missing something?
Because Giselle deserved to get punched for saying, "Oh, is this what cancer? No cancer looks like."
Yes. Like nobody walks up to anybody, even if I think your black ass is not about having cancer. I'm still gonna be like, "Hey, girl, how you doing?" I was a doctor's visit. Now I might walk away and be like, "That raggedy bitch, no, she lying. She ain't got no goddamn cancer." But I'm not gonna say it to your face. Because if I say it to your face, I have to expect to get cursed out.
Right.
So I just don't understand why. I don't understand. Mia just wanted an issue with Wendy, and I think that she overplayed her hand because I don't think that she thought that most of the viewers would side with Wendy in this situation.
She felt like, because they do act like people. Some of the viewers do act like they don't like Wendy, right?
They do.
So they like they probably be like, she probably was saying some shit like, "I'm gonna throw this drink in her face, and then I'm gonna get everybody on my side. You know, they don't like Wendy no way, so I'm
yes,
I'm gonna put them on my side or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of so it's like she did that thinking that she was gonna get a bunch of fanfare behind it, but in all reality, it was everything but that, because she's been getting dragged all over social media to the point to where she's blocked our very own the Brooke Ashley. She blocked her on Twitter. Then she took her whole account down and all of that, only for her to come back and make these tweets and shit like trying to trying to do damage control, but the damage is already done. You know what I mean? Like, you getting dragged, and rightfully so. Hey T, you getting dragged and rightfully so. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You just wasn't expecting that. See, you wouldn't have said shit had you not got dragged. Because see, if everybody was praising you for the shit, then you wouldn't have cared. It wouldn't have been nothing to you. But at the end of it all, it's like, girl, you know what it is. Like, did you really think that people was gonna be okay with you doing that?
I think they really thought so.
She really did.
I think because of the response that people had for Mia her first season when it came to her and Candace, that I felt like, because when it came to her and Candace, I felt like people just not gonna see it for Candace. That was really team Mia, and I felt like Mia carried her first season energy over to her second season, which is the 7th season, thinking that, okay, I did whatever I did with Candace, and the people still ate Candace up. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do with Wendy, and now the people gonna eat Wendy up. And girl, it backfired on that ass.
It did everything but eat Wendy up. They did not eat Wendy up at all. Everybody, the mass majority has been on Wendy's side this entire time, and I am here for it, because I'm here for it too. Like, she didn't do shit to me. Like, she didn't do.
She did. Let me say something. I don't want to act like Wendy walks on water, because I do remember, and I didn't go back and watch it. I remember last season when Mia first was introduced to the group. I think Wendy did come across a little kind of meanish. You remember? I think it was Mia was at Wendy's house when she first was introduced, and I think Wendy was saying kind of like slick shit about her plastic surgery or something. So I'm not gonna say her act like Wendy ain't never just snuck some shit in and tried to take a dig at Mia, because from what I can remember so far, she has. But even with that, it's just kind of like, okay, girl, you said your shit, I said my shit. How did it get to the point now? Like I've said in my reviews, I want to know what happened between episode 1 up until episode 7, because we really haven't seen any type of interaction with Mia and Wendy for Mia to be so hostile in episode 7. Like there to me, for this season, there hasn't been a build up.
Right.
Like, I can at least try to wrap my head around it if you was beefing episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But girl, y'all ain't even saying nothing to each other. So for you to be this mad in episode 7 and be trying to fight, it's like, girl, where did this come from? I don't know, child. Mia doing a lot.
But see, it goes back to what I already said, though. They do shit to each other, but when one of them do it, they get like, okay, like you just said, because I even went in on Mia for that. I mean, on Wendy for that last season when she first met. Like, girl, why you being so mean to the girl? Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah.
But then Giselle stood up here and walked up dead to your face and said, "Is this how cancer, no cancer look like?" But you still mad at Wendy for some little petty shit when you still should be going in on Giselle and sausages in her neck. Like,
That's what I'm
going in
saying.
on me?
It's like the aftermath. Like, okay, girl, y'all had y'all conflict, but after the smoke has died down, how do you handle each other?
Right.
It's clearly a difference in how y'all handle each other versus how y'all decide to handle Candace and Wendy. And no tea, no shade. Even how y'all tried to handle Monique in a way. But, I mean, I don't want to go there.
We're gonna talk a little bit about her, but not that much, because
child.
that conversation triggers the people, child.
Okay.
But now this was something that someone brought up in the chat. I saw it before we even went live. You know, people was already in the chat before we went live. And I also saw a buddy of mine who's another YouTuber by the name of Jeremy Speaks TV. He did a video today, I want to say, and it was about Karen.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about this? A lot of people feel as though Karen plays neutral instead of standing up for what's actually right. Like she stays neutral because it's safe and she don't want the drama to come to her. So she just stay neutral just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? So I want to know, do you agree with that? And if you do, why do you agree with it?
Okay, so listen. This is what I got to say about Karen. Last year, I tried to understand that Karen wanted to be neutral. I mean, not last year, season 5. I understood that Karen wanted to be neutral, like with Monique and Candace, because she had a relationship with both ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, girl, I really don't want to choose whatever side. And I was trying to wrap my head and understand it, but it was my sister, my biological sister, who told me, bitch, Karen wasn't being neutral. Karen was on Monique's side. Anyways, fast forward to now, it's like, in this situation, girl, you really don't know Monique not Monique. You really don't know Wendy or Mia like that. So you just need to call it out for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to understand with Mia, with Candace and Monique, but with Mia and Wendy, girl, just say, Mia, you dead ass wrong. Like, I don't know why Karen, and I don't do that. Some stuff I can understand people wanting to be neutral and not want to get involved, but girl, some stuff you have to just call it for what it is. I was with girl, the help across the table, Giselle, when she was like, girl, you're gonna have to pick a side. That's why I'm like, girl, you're gonna have to Karen, I think Karen feels like that's her way of, one, not getting in the mess, and then 2, trying to come across as someone who is a good friend. Mm-hmm. Really and truly, I think what make Candace, Karen a better friend is just by calling it out. Because even with your friends, you still have to be honest. Mm-hmm. Like, just because we friends don't mean that I can tell you, girl, you were dead ass wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that's what Karen, and she may do it later in the season, I don't know. But I wish that's what Karen would have done instead of trying to find fault on both ends. Like, okay, so Wendy, you threw the drink after or before? You see what I'm saying? Like, just me and you were dead ass wrong for throwing the drink. Period.
Yeah, like, because at first I was like, well, she said she was wrong. You know, that's what I said in the video. I'm like, okay, she said she was wrong. So what more does everybody want from her? Right. I mean, she said she was wrong. But I think the problem that people are having is, not only did she say she was wrong, but she also said Wendy was wrong as well. And I think that's the part that's, knocking people off with her, because she said that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm like, when she said Mia was wrong, like, why y'all on her titties about it? She said she was wrong.
Right.
But now that I hear everybody else, it was like, my problem is that she said that Wendy was wrong too, and she wasn't wrong. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, okay. I see it from that standpoint. It's like, you only said that Wendy was wrong to appease everybody.
Yes. Yeah. She don't want no smoke, so it's like, you were wrong, I'm done.
Right. That's basically where it came from. Mm-hmm. In my eyes. I'm like, Cause you know, I like Karen, but I know that
Karen just lie a lot. But
I was just about to say that she lies a lot, but I like her. You know what I'm saying? I like her probably just about more than everybody else on the cast, and then probably Wendy comes after her, probably for me. But I was like, she said she was wrong. She said it, but I'm like, but she also said Wendy was wrong, and Wendy was not wrong.
Wendy was not wrong.
Okay, so when it comes down to the colorism issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we see it plain as day when it comes to Wendy, and we've seen it with Candace. Did you ever feel like there was any drop of colorism when they were like when Giselle and Robin were all coming in Monique? Was that a form of colorism, or they just didn't like her?
No. I feel like it was in a way. Now that I'm looking back, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, girl, y'all also mistreated. Look how y'all look how y'all. I mean, like, girl, Giselle literally when they got a body, like Giselle would have got a body going. Like, but this is the thing. I also don't want to reduce how Monique handled Candace.
Okay, so before we even go there, this is the thing. I don't want, when we talk about this, I don't want nobody to feel like this is a way to minimize what Monique did to Candace, because there's no way you can minimize it. She was absolutely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But before she went off and started, before that Candace fight and all that other stuff, they were like going in on her a lot.
Right.
That, even though we saying it, that don't mean that, that's minimizing, because we can't minimize it. No. It's even though people are playing, semantics and gymnastics with it and trying to minimize it now, but you can't minimize it at all. The only thing that you can do is basically say the way that they're handling the situation now versus how they handle it with Monique is absolutely hypocritical. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like when Monique attacked Candace, you feel what I'm saying? It was kind of like, you a bad example for your kids.
Yes.
I gotta bring a bodyguard with me. We have held ourselves to the highest standard, and I don't want to be nowhere near you. And you a liability, and you this and you that. But with Mia is like, she feels some type of way, as she should, and she's gonna figure out her next couple of days. And
don't let her run you off. And if you're leaving, we leaving, girl. What?
You know what I'm saying? And then now Robin's saying, if you want to fight, then fight. But you was just...
It's a hot ass mess.
You know what I'm saying? So when I say that, I don't want nobody to believe that I'm saying that to vindicate Monique, because that's not vindicating her. What we're saying is if you're gonna be against the shit, be against the shit.
Yes.
If be against it, be against it.
Yes.
If you're gonna be against it with Monique, be against the shit with Mia. That's the only thing that I'm saying, because it comes across to me like you only against something when it involves certain people that you dislike. That's when you're against it. And that's why when Monique and Candace fought, I was annoyed at Giselle and Robin, because I'm like, it's funny how y'all all on Candace titties right now. But before that, y'all was getting ready to ice her ass out. But now that she done fought with Monique, now y'all all on her ass now, because the person that y'all really can't stand has attacked her. So now y'all gonna be on her now. Now y'all gonna be on her side now, because so y'all to get rid of the person that y'all really want to get rid of. So I just felt like the support that they gave Candace was never genuine.
No. Hell no.
I never felt like it was genuine.
It wasn't. Because I can't stand her ass either. Like you just said, Candace was supposed to be the one that was getting iced out. So they just, anything that happened after the Monique and Candace situation, it was just still because my sights are set on Monique. Like, Candace, girl, whatever, girl. My sights are set on her. So whatever they tried to give Candace or whatever, it wasn't genuine, child. Because it was all about making sure that they could get Monique out the door or whatever they were trying to do.
Basically. Now, I see people saying in the comments, now, Monique actually denied that there was any trace of colorism on Potomac.
And that's where like the problem. What I'm sorry. What are the people saying? I'm sorry because I can't.
No, I just said it. They were saying it. Well, Monique said it wasn't no colorism.
So that's part of the problem, right? Because I see how these, especially now since we can compare, like we can compare season 5 to what's going on in season 7. So now we have something to compare it to.
Right.
Why I feel like they handled, at the time, I felt like they were doing a lot with Monique. Like, girl, like you just said, like y'all talking about she a bad mama, and we put ourselves up here on a pedestal and this and that. Like, damn, bitch, I'm really going after the girl. Like, even me who was like, damn, you have a business touching Candace, but damn, bitch, I'm really trying to say she a bad mama because she got into a fight. So it's just like, but then when it's time to have the conversation, like when I hear people say, you know, Monique wasn't treated fairly. Well, hell, Monique didn't even want to have the conversation. Even if Monique didn't even want to agree that there was colorism, she still didn't even want to have the conversation about favoritism. Like how she was being treated unfairly. When it was time for Monique to actually stand up and open her goddamn mouth and say something, she still low-key sided with the Green Eye Bandits and to spite Candace. So it's like, while we can look at the situation and say that, yes, they were wrong for how they handled Monique, hell, Monique didn't even give a damn about how they handled Monique.
And that's sad to me.
It's sad.
Like, just like you said, now looking back at it, just like you said, the season 5 reunion, your very last reunion, you had the time and the floor to really put it out there that they was fucking with you.
Yes.
Like you had the time to just say they was fucking with you.
And she didn't.
You did.
Monique, the same way that Candace and Wendy brought up colorism, she could have brought up whatever issue she felt like she had that was going on in the cast. But she didn't. She was too busy trying to read that. I don't know what Monique was trying to do. Because she was too busy trying to get into that binder, child. Monique, that was a frustrating thing. One of the frustrating things that when you think about like the time she had to speak up, she didn't use that opportunity to speak up. So it's like, in a way, it's messed up as what is about. I'm about to say is going to sound. How bad can I feel for Monique when? Because Wendy and Candace, they opening up their mouth. They opening up their mouth in front of the boss, in front of Andy.
Right.
You're not opening up your mouth. So how can I even feel bad for you? Because you're not saying nothing.
You ain't saying shit. You still falling victim and falling.
You still ain't saying shit.
You still falling into the hole. You still trying to be sweetie to Giselle and Robin. That's what you doing.
No, sweetie. Sweetie.
That's what you doing.
Sweetie.
That's what you doing. And Candace is telling them your slave is behind you. Like, that's just what's going on here. And that's another question. Because I used to be pissed even at Candace and Wendy, because I'm like, why y'all want to be friends with Giselle and Robin so bad? Why do you think these girls want to be friends with them so bad? Because that's my thing. Why do they want to be their friend?
I don't, because I in my reviews, I have been saying for a minute, I did not understand why Candace gave Giselle so much grace. Like, I've been saying Candace should have been on Giselle's ass a long time ago. Like, I don't know why you give that woman so much grace. I don't know if it's because, I don't think it was because Candace, that's the thing. I don't know if it was, now I don't know. I don't know if it was because Candace was scared of Giselle, because Giselle may be one of the favorites over there at Bravo, and didn't want to deal with, coming after the favorite, then having to deal with whoever may be behind the scenes. I don't know, but I just never understood why Candace never really got with Giselle. I also think this too. I think that, like, for example, with Wendy, in my head, this is what I tell myself. That doesn't make it right. But in my head, I tell myself that when these girls come into these friend groups, they're not supposed to come in already with thoughts of how these people are. So they have to kind of come in giving Giselle, even though they probably watch season after season, know Giselle is probably a bitch. they have to still come in with a clean slate. So I think for people to think that like Wendy was supposed to come in and just automatically just be like, bitch, I'm going out to Giselle, because then it will be like, for what? Because girl, you're new to the show. So what problem do you really have with Giselle unless you're taking something that you've seen on screen seasons 1 through 4? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, in a way, they have to kind of give the girls a pass without coming across as, oh, girl, you just coming on, just trying to kick up mess. Because then it doesn't feel genuine because you really have nothing to stand on. Like with Mia, just coming in kicking a mess. I tried to be a cheerleader for that helpful.
Mia is a liar. Like everything about her is a falsehood, including her body. Everything is a falsehood. So
I'm so disappointed in Mia. I really am.
Like she lies so much, it makes me think that she lying about everything that she said ever happened to her.
You know what's so crazy? Like Karen lied, but I can deal with Karen. Like Wendy lie, like Wendy just be lying. I'm not Wendy, Mia, not Wendy. Mia just be lying. Like you a liar, and then you like to play a white woman. Like you start all this shit, and then it's the other person's fault. You done broke your own nails. You call your husband like it was Wendy's fault that you broke your nails. Like I don't know. I'm just and I was a cheerleader for Mia. I mean, yeah, for Mia to come back for her second season. But now it's like I didn't mind Mia coming back. I was like, girl, let Mia come back, girl. She ain't did nothing.
I wanted her ass gone.
Mia can go low quiet as it's kept.
I wanted her gone. I swear I wanted her ass.
I think everybody wanted Mia. It was a handful. I'm not gonna say everybody, but I was a champion for her to come back.
I'm surprised.
Because I just feel like, listen. See, that's what I be trying to tell the people. I feel like I'm the nicest bitch on YouTube. It be y'all that be really going after the girls. Give the kids a chance.
Not y'all.
Listen. Because I was like, I'm really the nice one. Because the other girls be wanting y'all asses fired after girl 4 episodes.
You know what? I give you that. You much nicer than me. I give you that.
Well, I just feel like we need to give the girls a chance. Like, it's her first season. Okay, girl, you know, like even with Drew. Drew got on my nerves the first season, but I didn't think that Drew should have been fired. Like, just bring her back, child.
I didn't mind Drew at all. I didn't mind Drew. But Mia,
people didn't like Drew.
Mia had to go.
But now it's like, okay, Mia, girl, you don't have to come back next season. Girl, you do too much. Girl, you do too much and it don't make no sense. Girl. You fighting. Like, girl, your fighting don't even make no sense.
Listen, she got to get the fuck on. Like, child. Okay, so here's another thing. Here's another bullet point. Because it ain't just about the colorism issue that I wanted to talk about. We're talking about all the hypocrisy, right?
Okay.
So the situation with Candace and Chris. Now, since the cameras have started rolling, Giselle has made this whole thing up in her head that, you know, well, she said, I felt uncomfortable because he asked me to come in my room to talk and I didn't know what he wanted to talk for and all of this other stuff. And now I feel uncomfortable. And now, you know, you got people like Ashley adding on to it and all this other stuff. And I feel like out of all people, Ashley should be the last person trying to speak on anyone's husband portraying that type of stuff. Because we know for a fact that her husband actually has done it and he violated multiple people already. And it's been well documented. So you don't have no right to say anything. However, it's funny how, to me, it's funny how even, I think I even said this last season, you know, Giselle was talking about Michael and all this other stuff. Like they all talked about Michael. And then all of a sudden, you know, Michael was okay. You know, Michael was this, Michael was that. But now all of a sudden, you know, Chris is the big bad wolf and he ain't even did nothing. And then not only that, y'all talking about men, you know, y'all love, you know, y'all talking about him, but what about Mia's husband? Didn't he lick his tongue out at Karen and shit? Like, wasn't he all inappropriate with her? Why y'all didn't say nothing about that? Why wasn't y'all uncomfortable with that?
Like, That's what I'm like. I don't. It's like the Twilight Zone. If y'all wanted to use anybody as a storyline, it should have been Gordon, because Gordon was the one. I don't think they were in the. I don't think they were in the room when Gordon licked his tongue out at Karen and Dylan. I think it was just Karen, Gordon, and maybe Mia. I can't remember the scene. I can't remember. But like, if they were going to use anybody's husband as someone that could potentially make them feel uncomfortable, they should have just stuck to Michael. Well, maybe because they know Michael like to. Let me shut up. I was
like Warren.
What you say?
Like Warren.
Okay. He like. Okay, I can't cut up over here. I swear I was about to start. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, they should have just used Michael or Gordon if they wanted to use a husband to say that they felt uncomfortable, because Gordon was really out of line, licking his tongue out.
And I don't remember them saying that about him.
No,
I don't really remember them saying that about him.
But I think they're trying to I think that they're the only way that they can really go after Candace. They're using Chris to go after Candace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it is what it is with Giselle. Giselle. Okay, let me shut up. Go.
Listen.
I'm a little long-winded.
All four of them got names. Okay. Number one, I'm sick of Vienna Nick. That's Giselle. Okay.
Vienna sauce.
I can't even get it out good enough. I can't get with the Salem Stalker. That's Mia. Have you ever watched Days of Our Lives? Do you remember when Marlena was the Salem Stalker? You know,
I watched Days of Our Lives. I don't remember the Salem Stalker.
Yeah, Marlena was the Salem Stalker. She was the serial killer. She was a Salem Stalker when I was in high school. Like, I remember that. And you know, Mia got this. Her face is like a permanent, like a permanent screen mask. That's the same mask Marlena wore. So yes, she's the Salem Stalker. Let's see who else we got. We had Vienna Nick. We had the Salem Stalker. Ric Flair gotta go too.
Ric Flair, that's who's that? Robin.
That's Robin. Ric Flair gotta go too.
See, that's the thing.
And Dejanay gotta go too.
You talking about Fire?
Huh?
You talking about Fire?
Yes, they got to go.
Isn't that so crazy? I feel like I'll say this. I think that Mia, she could be fired. I think that Giselle, they're probably not gonna fire Giselle, but
they ain't never getting rid of her.
They ain't getting rid of her. There needs to be a consequence, because Giselle, it's not okay for you to come onto a national platform, cable television.
Oh my God, not my mama in the chat, y'all. Hey, mama.
Hey, Miss Mama. Not gonna receive what I say.
No, you don't have to watch what you say. She watched my videos and you know what I give.
Okay. But I just feel like Giselle, for example, there needs to be a consequence. Like, I think that Bravo is getting to the point where it's getting too blurry. It's starting to look like I'm watching VH1 Zeus. There needs to be a consequence for people wanting to fight. I think that's the only reason. That's the only way this is just for me. Mm-hmm. That's the only way we're going to get rid of the "I like to fight at work, all my life I had to fight" crowd, because it's not acceptable to be on a TV show where we praise these women for their one-liners and read and shade, but then turn around and want to bring the streets into it, and you get bopped in your face if you say the wrong thing. Well, girl, that's really kind of exactly what they're supposed to do on this show. So I feel like with Giselle, girl, you're online pretty much almost. You could potentially ruin someone's reputation by lying, saying that they didn't do anything inappropriate. They didn't say anything inappropriate. You don't even remember the conversation. You just remember that you're uncomfortable. Girl, it's too much going on in the world right now with Me Too for you to be getting your black ass on TV lying on somebody. Because what if Chris would have lost his job? Because
exactly. People not seeing it. People are not looking at that bigger picture to me, because they're so quick to say, well, it's just a show. and she's only giving us entertainment. That's not entertaining to me. That's just like with Portia when she lied on Candy. That was not entertaining to me.
That was entertaining to me.
It was?
No, it was not.
Oh.
Hell no, you know damn well. Don't get me started. You know damn well. Baby.
But huh?
Did you say Portia?
Oh,
I said Portia was entertaining when she pulled on Candy.
I am not trying to get you started on her. Okay.
I saw she just married that man today though, or the other day.
Yeah, she did. I think it was today.
Today?
Yeah.
He looked like he got a new face because Simon don't look like that. Do Simon look like he got a new face? Or she be filtering the dog fuck out of his face in the pictures. Because Simon was ugly when he got home. When we saw Simon on Real Housewives, I don't want to take your video to another direction. But when we saw Simon on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Simon was ugly. Every time I see Simon actually be looking halfway cute. That's how I know for a fact she filtering his face.
See, I'm not trying to get you started with. Anyway, so
you said I start getting all over the place.
So, but yeah, that was another example. Even with half that shit that they was doing on Beverly Hills wasn't fucking entertaining.
Right.
That's partially why I didn't watch it and review it because
Beverly Hills is not that bad. Because I felt like, to me, at least they took, like with Erica Jane, at least they took a real life situation. Like, this is really happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, with Chris, the shit that Giselle and Ashley trying to pull, that shit not happening. Like, at least for Erica Jane and her husband over there stealing from them white people, like, that's happening, allegedly happening in real life. So we can talk about that and drill that into the ground and all that stuff. And I don't know. I just feel like if we gonna talk about it, at least let it be the truth, child.
That's all I'm saying. Like, why make up stuff just for the sake of making it up? You feel what I'm saying? It's like, and then another thing too with Giselle, she can talk about every season. She talk about somebody else's man. Every season she talk about somebody else's man, and I feel like she could talk about everybody else's man, but when folks was talking about Sherman, she ain't like it.
And you really mad at Monique. Because Monique is the one who brought that lady on that show and started telling all your business. So I don't know what the hell they got to do with everybody else. So I don't know, like Giselle, you had every right to be mad at Monique, but girl, didn't nobody bring that lady onto that show except for Monique? And you taking that on everybody else. That's another thing too. I really, really, really need for someone to like go after Giselle. Because Giselle has gotten too many passes. Like, I need somebody to like go out, like I'm talking about like how she go after people and don't care. That's how somebody needs to go after Giselle and don't care.
I would love to see that. I don't know who would do it, but I would love to see it.
I want it to be Candace next season, and I want her to come in full throttle.
I swear I do.
And whoever you have to go after to get through Giselle, then that's who you have to go after to get through Giselle.
Drag Robin in the process, please.
And
like,
give her a tap too. Robin get on my nerve, but I don't want Robin to get fired.
You don't?
I'm not a firing type of girl. Robin doing a lot. Don't get it twisted. Robin doing a lot. I can call out your mess. Girl, y'all want everybody to be fired.
Not really. I don't normally want everybody to be fired. But I don't really need Vienna, Nick, and Ric Flair to get fired. I'll just say that. But the Salem Stalker got to go.
Mil has to go. I wish Giselle could at least be demoted. There needs to be a consequence for that heifer getting on TV lying on Chris. Something needs to happen. Because I just don't think that it's right that you could get on TV and potentially ruin someone's reputation and there's not a consequence.
That's true.
Because at that point, that's why I think that's the part of the reason why Giselle thinks she's that girl. because she can do what she want to do, say what she want to say, go to the reunion, have first chair every reunion, and then nothing happens to her. It needs to be a consequence for Giselle's actions.
It does, and she gets away with way too much. Like she gets away with way too much, and I don't understand how she does, but she gets away with too much.
She does.
Even Ashley at some point get caught up in her shit, but Giselle.
But see, that's the duo though, because people really think that it's Robin. To me, people think that it's Robin and Giselle. But it's really Ashley and Giselle as far as like the mess, the ones who kick up the mess. Those two. This is the first season for me that I remember Robin actually like just being a fool and cutting up. Like Robin been cutting up. Ashley got some nerve. Ashley, can I say something? And I don't want to sound too. I don't want to get too vulgar on your channel. Ashley, girl, you got too much nerve. I wish a bitch would walk around here saying anything about my husband when your husband is paying to suck dick. Like the simple fact that Michael Darby is paying someone to suck their dick, and you got the nerve to sit in my face and talk about my husband, you done lost your goddamn mind. Paying to suck dick. And you want to sit in my face and talk about my husband?
Oh my goodness.
Girl, that's that brown starting to kick, and I'm going to leave her alone. I took a few sips. I took a few sips before I got onto your channel. I should have left her alone.
Listen, I'm drinking me a margarita right now, so you good. Hey, you good. That's
the only thing I like about Ashley. But then again, Ashley don't care because her and Michael probably out there sucking. Let me shut up. That's why Ashley don't care, because Ashley know what Michael do. That's the only thing that you really can't gag Ashley on, because Ashley knows what Michael is doing. She was gagged that Candace brought it up in front of people, but she wasn't gagged about knowing about it because Ashley knows. Ashley's bisexual and Michael's bisexual. And she knows, and it's okay.
That's why, it, to me, I be seeing how when people would bring it up, like when they first brought up the stuff about, Michael saying that he'll suck somebody's dick or whatever, it didn't bother her. It didn't phase her. Because it's like, I know he sucked dick. I mean.
And I know some people, I hate to say this, but I saw some people making it as though, it had a hint of homophobia in it because, I guess like when Candace was saying, "Oh, your husband's, do what he do." I didn't take it that way. I didn't take it that way. I just took it as though, girl, you got the girls going back and forth. You got this girl saying her husband is X, Y, and Z. And so the next best thing for me to do is say your husband sucking dick, because the truth of the matter is, don't nobody want nobody knowing their husband sucking dick. Don't nobody want nobody to know that their husband get down for their crown. Okay?
Exactly.
So that's why I think Candace did what she did. So since you want to gag my husband, I'm gagging yours too. Yours like to actually gag, bitch. That's what I would have told her. Oh, helpful. Michael, like he probably did.
Now your husband actually like to gag.
Okay. I would have tore that whole table. I mean, Ashley would have been fighting. Because I would have been dragging Michael all up and through that boy. We ain't seen Michael in 2 years, but I'm going to drag his ass. Okay?
I ain't seen Juan either.
Ain't seen Juan. Robin, while you out there cutting up and acting a fool, you need to be worried about what's going to happen to your man. Let me tell you. That's probably why Robin was cutting up and acting a fool out there at Bar One, because she had just got the news that Juan might lose their job up there at that university.
That's probably why she cutting up so hard, because she knows that's why she cutting up so bad.
That's why she cutting up. She got the news. Robin said, I can't lose this job because my man about to lose his. Okay? I don't leave Robin alone. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Robin deserves everything that she getting right now. Like straight up. She deserves everything that she getting. Period. Okay. She's doing too much.
She was. That's the only thing, like, And Robin, you know, has had her moments, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the way that Robin is acting this season is not. It's almost like, girl, you just doing it for the camera.
Right.
You just like it's like you're doing it for the
him.
camera, and then you don't look good doing what you're doing. But now it's further proving how we feel because, again, not to go backwards, because when we look at the conflict that you've had even with Ashley,
mm-hmm.
like to me that was real like conflict because you have this woman in your business, you know, reading you about, I mean, you know, telling the people that, girl, your account was negative $16, or however much it was, you know, talking about you basically a fool for staying with a man. Like, to me, that's enough. Like, Robin should have came back into this season, even though that mess between her and Ashley happened the first season, I believe. Robin should have came back into this season giving Ashley a little dose of her own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this would have been a perfect time for Robin to be like, you know what? Since Ashley want to start playing this game about still staying with her husband, doing all this, she could then throw into Ashley's face. Now, bitch, you see how it feels and understand what I'm trying to say. Because now you're trying to buy a house on the LLC and like I just feel like, who is that?
That's my baby brother. He just walked through here. He just walked right through.
I was like, who is all these people in the camera shot? Oh, but yeah, I just feel like Robin. I don't want Robin fired, but I think Robin, girl, you look the fool. You look a fool season 7. You started out strong, but you look a fool. You look a fool.
What about this? Do you think Giselle and Robin are bringing Charisse around just to fuck with Karen? And for those of you in the chat, that is my baby brother child. Like, stop. I ain't got no man.
A mess. You see how people saw the mess? Who is that? Now everybody in the chat talking.
I ain't got no man. My brother.
A man that just walked by, child. Because I saw a man in your frame. No, but I do think that you said, do I think that Charisse that they're bringing Charisse to fuck on Karen? Yes, I think that. See, this is the thing with Giselle. Giselle is the producer. I think she does a horrible job, believe it or not. But Giselle is a producer of the show. She's not like a Kenya Moore. That's why I get sick and tired of people trying to compare Giselle to Kenya. Kenya actually knows what she's doing over there in Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, she know exactly what she's doing.
Kenya not going to bring up no false rumors of no man, you know, making her feel inappropriate without it actually being what it is. But anyways, Giselle, I think she is bringing Charisse on to mess with Karen. I don't know if they're trying to get. You think they're trying to get Charisse back on the show like full time though?
I hope not.
I never really saw it for Charisse, and I've always said that I liked Charisse when she was a friend. When Charisse was a friend, I was like, okay, Charisse is cool. But when Charisse was a housewife, I didn't like Charisse as a housewife. I feel like I saw too much of her.
Not you.
You know, some of the girls you don't need to see all the time.
That's true.
Like Robin probably would be a good friend. we don't need to see Robin all the time. Giselle would really be a good friend because we don't need to see Giselle all the time.
I feel the same way about Quad on Married to Madison. What, Rodney?
You know I like Quad.
You don't like? I used to like Quad.
Huh?
I used to like Quad.
Why you stop liking Quad?
Can I say I stopped liking her? Not necessarily.
You don't think you don't think she's a good fit for the show?
Not right now. Like, why is she here?
You know, I think really why Quad is really there. I think Quad is there because Quad. It's kind of like seniority. Like, because she's been here since season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the use of getting rid of her now? If that makes sense. Like, I guess somebody could say the same thing for you know, Robin and Giselle. Like, they're pretty much like the OGs. They are. So why get rid of Robin now? I will give Robin and Giselle this though. They made a good, as much as they get on my nerves, I think they did a good job as packaging themselves as a duo.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think it would be hard for them because it's the Green Eyed Bandits, Giselle and Robin. You see one, you see the other. I think it would be hard for them to get rid of, like, say, Robin, because we do think of them as like a duo.
Right.
So in a way, I think it works out for them. Even though Robin always looks like she's following behind Giselle, it works out for her in the end because I mean she's still employed. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a couple of times that Robin, I was wondering why is Robin on my TV screen.
Right. Okay. And
You
that's
know?
half the time she been on the show.
Yes, because it's been like Robin, like, why are you here? Because you bring nothing to the show.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why don't you see it for Charisse? Because I know a lot of people don't see it for her, but I want to know why.
I'll say this much. Okay, first season Real Housewives of Potomac, I watched the full season, but I didn't like it because I thought they were all fake. I did. I thought the whole etiquette stuff, I was like, girl, these girls are fake. And so I did watch season 2. I clocked back in season 3, and I think that's when she was a friend. Season 3. I just didn't. That first season, again, I didn't really vibe with anybody. But once I think I disliked Charisse the first season. Everybody else is just like, oh girl, you know, it is what it is. I don't know. I just never clicked with her.
A lot of people feel like she's pretentious.
The way, like, oh, darling, the way she really.
Your face repulses me.
Right. But in Charisse's defense, they say Charisse is a real grand dame.
That's what they say, Chad.
So maybe Charisse act that way because she can back it up. And maybe, because the truth of the matter is when you really sit back and think about it, they all came onto the show with stunts and shows, but Karen really came onto the show with a stunt in the show. Karen introduced herself as basically the Black Bill Gates wife. Remember she introduced Ray as the Black Bill Gates?
She did.
And then 4 seasons later, she was paying Ray's pussy bill. Ray couldn't even pay his taxes. And then Karen was mad. So I'm like, girl, how was your man the Black Bill Gates, but you paying his bills?
You know, a lot of people say, and I am kind of inclined to agree with this, that Charisse was the one on the show that had the real money and the connections, and you know, she was the one that was really in Potomac's, social society and stuff like that. She knew everybody. She the reason why all of them are on the show, which is funny to me because she's the reason why most of these people are on the cast, but people don't like her.
Right.
And they want her out.
It's almost like I think like with Nene, how they said Nene was the one who played a big role in like bringing the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast together. But I feel like with Charisse, the difference is that Charisse actually lived. No shade to Nene, but I feel like Charisse actually did live that lifestyle from what I understand. Like Charisse really is like that girl in the Potomac streets. Charisse was just at the Beyonce, was it Tina Knowles?
Yeah.
The other day. So I'm like, girl, you.
They don't look like it.
Huh?
Why she don't be looking like it?
No, I ain't gonna. Charisse do be looking tired.
Yeah, like she looked like she's exhausted.
She look tired. Like even at the dinner table, like Charisse was hot, but like I was like, she looked like she just tired. Like her hair be stuck to her scalp. I mean, her scalp was like, girl, you need to get a fan, girl. You need to fan yourself. Girl, I saw her bang sticking to the side of her forehead. I said, oh, mama, you need to go get your a glass of ice water, girl, and cool yourself down. I don't know, Charisse. I think Charisse is that girl in those streets because even Ashley and Robin said it on Watch What Happens Live. And I think Robin said it on her in her confessional. And I think Ashley said it on Watch What Happens Live. That girl, pretty much Charisse is the real grand dame. Like Karen plays the part, but in real life, Charisse is the girl who runs. Who's that girl? So maybe Sharice, maybe the way that Sharice acts like the, oh my God, darling, maybe she can really live up to that. I do think it. I believe it. I believe that Karen puts on stunts and shows. I'm sorry. I believe Karen puts on stunts and shows. Karen, you not know you play the part for the show.
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, you really not that girl like Sharice is that girl.
I can see that. I can see that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna hold you on it. I can see that. That's probably why she acts hella bougie, because that's just how she really is.
Because that's how she is.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't want to say it, but yeah, you got a point.
Yes. And then like the way she acts about like the hotels and, oh my God, I need my own bathroom, I need this, I need it. Like,
oh, I don't like the accommodations.
I don't know if she was born into that lifestyle, but I think that she lived that way where that's the reason why she acts that way.
And she actually lived in Potomac.
Yes. When that helper said that she spent over $500,000 for her lawyer fees, I said, girl. I said, okay, well, this bitch might be. Girl, that's a lot of money.
Too much money, to be honest. I mean, like, girl.
I'm like, well, how much did you get from the divorce? If you spent that much on lawyer fees, how much did you get? But yeah, I think Sharice is a real grind down. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. You know, I'm a little long-winded child.
Okay. Because we got like less than 20 more minutes. Because like I said, I ain't gonna hold you all night.
Okay.
So let's see. Even though I'm enjoying myself, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying this conversation. This is fun. So the biggest thing that's been ask Ronnie about Candace. I'm about to ask her about Candace, child. I'm gonna ask her about Candace, and we already touched on Monique, so I ain't gotta talk about her no more. So we can talk about Candace. So with Candace, what do you think is the issue with her when it comes down to the cast and when it comes down to some of the people that watch the show?
I think that when Candace first got on the show, they didn't have respect for Candace because they didn't have respect for Candace as a grown woman and just as a person, period. Because of once they found out Candace, especially Candace's living situation, that she was living with her man and, you know, her mama's house, a family house, whatever, that's when everything kind of went left. So I think, and that's when the whole "you're a little girl." You remember, I think Sharice even took kind of like a little dig at Candace about who's paying for the wedding. I think it was Sharice or somebody, I can't remember.
It was either Sharice. It was Sharice. That's why Candace called her a geriatric granny or some shit. Yeah.
I think that's where it initially started. Like, they just didn't have respect for her because of the fact that, like, you know, you're with this man and you living in your mama house. But let me shut up.
No.
But the truth of the matter is, even with that being the case, like, no tea, no shade, most of the women on that show, even ex-cast members, including Monique, they only have that lifestyle because they married into money. And that's just period. Like this whole thing of trying to come after Candace because she comes from generational wealth is absolutely weird to me. Because let's just be honest, with or without Chris, Candace was still gonna be in her mama's house. Now I don't know if Monique would be in Potomac if it wasn't for Chris's money. I don't know if Karen would be in Potomac if it wasn't for Ray's money. I don't know if Ashley would be in Alexandria where she is if it wasn't for Michael's money. I don't know if Giselle would be in the situation she was in if it wasn't for Jamal's money. So all of them really had no room to talk because y'all only got where y'all at for sitting on the dick. And that's just what it is. Now, I'm not trying to sit here and shame anybody for marrying into money. That's not what I'm doing. You should definitely marry into money. You should definitely marry a wealthy man. But let's stop acting like you have that lifestyle because, oh, it just was, you know, my mom, you know, I come from a Hilton family. I come from, you know, the Bassett family. You got that lifestyle because you married. You're a kept woman. You're a kept woman.
And
So
see,
for
that's
y'all
the
not to have
thing.
respect for Candace and her
Yeah.
situation is absolutely crazy to me.
And that's the thing. It's nothing wrong with being a kept woman, but there's also
No.
nothing wrong with coming from generational wealth either. Like, how you going to judge somebody from coming from generational wealth when you got your money based off the man that you decided to be
That's
with?
it. Because let's be very clear. Every single woman that I just named who married into that lifestyle, they're going to be in court. They could possibly be in court one day arguing, fussing, and fighting over the money.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So, in a way, it is kind of weird that people, even with the viewers, they have so much to say about Candace and living in her mama's house. Like, girl, when did we start having an issue with generational wealth? When did we start having an issue with coming from money? Even if Candace is a grown woman, yes, and don't get it twisted, because I was on Candace's ass too during my season. But when I sit back and think about it, I think it's only the broke people, including myself, that had an issue with it because we don't understand how generational wealth works. Because the girls who got it, they don't give a damn what we got to say.
They don't.
You know what I'm saying? So it's
They
like
don't.
even with the viewers, I felt like, and again, and that's including me at one point too. We kind of went hard on Candace living in her mama's house and, you know, doing this and doing that. But the truth, we just mad because we can't live in our mama's house. Or one of our mama 10 houses. Because I heard Miss Dorothy got a house on top of house on top of house on top of house.
I'm at home right now.
Like it's one of those things that we like, and again, I'm including myself in that. Like, we can't be mad because this girl has been, you know, she comes from opportunity and access and resource, and you know, like I don't know.
Okay,
It's
so
just like I don't know.
this is kind of taking a turn into another conversation since we're talking about this. Why do people look down on people that, even though they're grown, they still are kind of taken care of by their parents?
Because we're not.
Because, and I'm only asking this because I know for me, because I'm 33, I'll be 34 in February. So for the most, I basically lived at home all my life. Only when I went to college and I, you know, lived on campus and stuff. But I've been at home, not necessarily because I wanted to be here, but I've been at home. And, you know, my mother has always felt like, you know, well, you don't have to go anywhere. I don't give a damn how old you get. You can stay here, blah, blah, blah. And trust me, I got my own entrance. I ain't got to be bothered with nobody. I got a room. I got my own bathroom. I got a refrigerator in the back on behind me. I ain't got to be worried about nobody. I can have my men come through the back door if I want to. It is fine. I have my own side of the house.
Baby, in and out, in and out.
So it don't matter. But, you know, people would be like, well, he need to get out the house. It's not like I'm living at home and my mother is paying for everything. I have a job. I have a second income with YouTube. I have my own money. Nobody has to do anything for me. Mm-hmm. Hell, I do more for them than I do for myself. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you know, people do be trying to look down on people like Candace who are able to, you know, live off generational wealth, or people like me who is at home. You know what I mean?
I think because, one, sometimes when people think of a person of a certain age living at home, they attach that to, oh, you must be a bum. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that that's you. I'm just saying that people think that, oh, you 33, you ain't got no job. All you do is play PlayStation all day. Like, you do this. You like, they don't think of, girl, what about if I'm at home? Because one, I need to be at home. Two, I could just want to be at home. And three, why is it an issue? Right? And then I think for some of us, we're not necessarily me, but for a lot of, I'll just say Black people, you hear these stories all the time of when you turn 18, baby, they're kicking your ass out. You grown. Right. You got to go into this world and figure it out on your own.
And let me say one thing too. Someone said I don't need to be sneaking nobody in the house. Let me make that clear. I ain't sneaking nobody in here because I pay bills here. Number one and number two, they already know.
I can't see the comments. I don't know what's going on.
They know they in here. It's not sneaking. I just have a back door right here.
Until I'm grown.
Cause I'm grown. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. I pay bills here. I can do whatever I want to do.
I mean, but yeah, it's just like with this. I think that for some people, since like I don't come from no generational wealth, child. So that's just I'm gonna have to just get it how I live. I think that for some people, they were not. I don't think that we had ever really saw this black girl get on TV and her mother is I think a psychiatrist or whatever. She's a doctor. Her father's a doctor. I had never seen it. And then you got the mama just handing out $150,000 or $100,000 for a wedding. Like I don't think we had ever seen that before. Like your daddy is giving $50,000. I think Miss daughter gave $175,000 for a wedding.
Right.
Like, I don't think I've ever recalled a time where I've seen kind of like that happen on TV. So now we have this girl, this black girl who's dark skinned. And I remember one time, not to go backwards, I had a conversation with my friend, and I remember him saying that he had an issue with Candace at the reunion when she said, "Well, I grew up in the country." When she made that comment about, "Well, I grew up in the country club," and I think you remember when Monique was like, "I grew up in the hood." I think it was a season 4 reunion.
Yeah,
but anyway, he had
it was a season 4 reunion.
Season 4, yeah. Candace was like something along the lines, "I grew up in a country club," and he was like, he had an issue with that. I was like, why would you have an issue with this black girl on TV saying she grew up in a country club, but you don't have an issue with Monique saying she grew up in the hood? I think that sometimes our mind is already attached to a certain way, and anything outside of that,
because they don't relate.
They don't relate. Like you can't relate to this girl, mama giving $175,000, $150,000 just for a wedding. You can't relate to this girl living in one of her mother's rental properties, right? You can't relate to, this woman, this girl growing up in the country club. You can't relate to this girl having this girl extensive vocabulary, right? So like when Candace does what she does, and then on top of the fact, I will say this much, I will give Candace this. Candace did come across in a way, she crying all the time. She came across as very much so the princess, kind of bratty. So I think that also played into people not liking her. Like, you're a brat, you cry all the time, you're a princess, you come for money, you're talking about you grew up in a country club. Like, bitch, I can't stand you.
Right.
So I think it was more stuff. I just wish that we just kind of get away from that, girl. Let people live how they live.
Yeah, because I don't look at people any kind of way when they live a certain type of way. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd be like, well, bitch, I wish I had what you had. You know what I mean? And I don't say it in a way like I'm jealous or anything, but I'd be like, well, because sometimes, even with me, I live at home and people be like, like a lot of my friends be like, if I didn't have any kids and a husband, I'd still be at home. Or, I wish I would have waited to leave or something like that.
I'll say this much. I've had this conversation with my biological sister, and if I could go back and my family lived up here, I wouldn't have moved from home. I would have waited. I mean, I would eventually have moved from home.
Yeah, because I'm eventually trying to leave, but
I wouldn't have left at no 18. I would have stayed at home, went to college, lived at home. You know what I'm saying? While I took my classes, saved my money, and that's how I would have done it. So I will say this much, not to get off topic. If your ass is at home, and if your mama and daddy gonna let you stay at home, and you going to college in your town, stay your ass at home as long as you can. I'm telling y'all. It'll save you a lot of money. You can save your money. You can move out when you're 30 or whatever and buy your house. You can move out.
Because my credit is good enough to buy a house. So
it's like you have to look at it. Some of us, we so goddamn ready to grow up and be grown. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, girl, grown ain't being fun, bitch. I'm telling you. Girl, like, stay your ass at home.
Because I swear to God, I don't let nobody shame me. I know I stay at home. Like, it is what it is.
But it's not no bomb, though.
I'm not. I have a job. I'm never here. I'm always at work.
Exactly. Like, it would be one thing. I would be over here scratching my head if you was like, child, I don't work. All I do is play PlayStation all day. My mama, bring me my food. Like, it's one thing. It's one thing when you bummish and when you a working man and I'm taking care of my business. Like, you can't really.
Exactly, because all the while, because, there was times where I really couldn't leave because my mother fell on a hard time and I had to help her. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. We sometimes we're so quick to like, and this is including me too. We're so quick to judge people in their situation, and we don't even know people's situation.
Yes, because a lot of people didn't know mine. Like, my mother worked for the post office, and she worked there for over 20 years, and she hurt herself. There was times where she couldn't work, so I had to take the responsibility to make sure that all the lights were still on. We had a roof over our head. Like, I did that for like 2 years. Right. You know what I mean? So I could have been gone a long time ago, but I wasn't gonna leave my mother by herself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna do that. Like, I was taking care of her and my brother. Right. So I wasn't gonna do that. So now I can get the fuck out, at this point, but I ain't trying to be in Mississippi. That's the thing. I'm trying to get out of Mississippi.
Where you trying to get to Atlanta?
I mean, at first it was Houston, then it was Dallas, now it's Atlanta. So
Atlanta is cute. I think it'll be cute. I think you'll have fun in Atlanta. I'm trying to get to DC.
Oh, you trying to get to DC? I never been to DC.
I really want to get to New York.
You like New York?
I have a love-hate relationship. I have a love-hate. I love Harlem. That's what I'll say.
My dad lives in Jersey. My dad is actually born here, but he lives in Jersey, and I went to go visit him, and I guess it's because I'm such a country boy. All that stuff they got going on, it's not for me.
Okay. I just feel like when I go to New York, I feel I do understand what they say when you go there. It does feel like, in a way, it's a dream that don't fall for the dream. People say, oh, you can go to New York and make it. If you can make it in New York, you can make it everyone. People go to New York to live out their dreams and this and that. It feels like I see how people can get swept into the shit in New York. If you go there realistically, like, okay, bitch, I know I ain't gonna be no superstar overnight.
My friend is a dancer. So he left Mississippi, I think, in 2017, and then he left and went to Dallas first. Then he went to Baltimore, then Newark, in the Bronx. Now he's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
So it's like, and I was up there with him this past June or whatnot, and that shit. Look, I got friends in New York, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm like, I'm not getting on no damn subway because I don't know how to do this shit. I don't know where I'm going.
My first time there.
I paid for them high ass Ubers. The cheapest one I paid for was $90-some to get from the Bronx to Brooklyn.
Are you serious?
Yes. Terrible.
I caught the Uber. Like, the only time I catch Uber when I'm in New York is if it's late. Like, I'm not going underneath the ground. Girl, I'm walking and shaking and doing all that and get my black ass robbed. So if it's late at night, I'm catching the Uber, but I don't catch the subway.
I have to do it with other people. Cause I don't. You gotta understand. I'm from country ass Mississippi. I don't know shit about no subways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and everybody was like, "You should have took the train. You should have took the train." I'm like, I don't know where I'm going.
I felt the same way too, but I think because whenever I go out of town, I really plan out my trip, like, and I'm always looking at the public transportation system. So I really wasn't the only thing that really happened that I got lost one time. God, did get lost. So, I was on the anchor. I was like, girl, if I end up, I got these tight ass jeans on. I end up somewhere, child. But yeah, I got lost one time. But I think I ended up in Brooklyn. It wasn't that bad. Like, I didn't know where I was going to end up at. But one time, I remember the first time I went, not to be long-winded, I had my suitcase. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get through what is it called?
I don't know what it is, but I know what you're talking about.
I got stuck. And of course, Of course, I was trying to look like a New Yorker. Like, girl, I live here. Like, oh, I live. I'm just catching the subway. I just came back from out of town. I'm going to my loft. Okay, that's the look I was trying to give. But I got stuck in that goddamn. That's in my big ass. When I was so embarrassed. Girl, you start trying to suck my big ass, trying to get a suitcase, a bag, and all of this.
Oh my
small
God.
asshole. I was like, oh my God, I was so embarrassed. It was a hot ass mess.
Listen, it's a lot about New York that I gotta come up there more often. Because I have to realize that I'm not at home because I still be doing shit that I be doing that like I do. Because I'll be walking through, I'm like, hey y'all, how y'all doing? They look at me like,
Right.
My friend told me, stop doing it. I said, what am I doing?
Right.
He said, you're not supposed to speak to these people. Right. You're not supposed to. I'm like,
yeah. That's how it was when I first moved to Houston. Because I'm from a small town. And when I moved up here, like, I had to catch on real fast. Oh, the girls ain't really friendly like that in Houston, child.
They rule like that in Houston?
Well, I come from a place where, like, you see somebody walking down the street, you give them a ride.
Mm-hmm.
Because pretty much, like, even if I don't know you, like, my mama probably know you, my grandma know you. So, like, I remember when I first moved up here, I was with my aunt, and we saw somebody walking down the street, and I literally asked my aunt, I said, "You're not gonna stop and give them a ride?" I swear to God. I swear to God. She was like, "Nah." She was like, "Nah, baby, we don't do that up here." You do that where you do that where we from. I literally asked my aunt, "You're not gonna give them a ride?" Because where I'm from, it's a very small town. We have one stoplight. Everybody knows everybody. You see people. Well, you just don't let people walk.
Y'all got one high school too.
We had one high school, one middle school.
That's how we was. That's how we are right now. One high school. Everybody went to the same high school. Everybody. Mm-hmm. So we know everybody.
Class was like 79 people. It was small.
Now we ain't that small.
That was small. Like I think when I first left, we had like 1,500 people in my town. It's grown since then. I think it's probably up to like 2,500. It was like 1,500 people. Girls, it's small.
Yes, people don't be realizing it. They be like, how does everybody know it? Oh, we know each other. You know everybody. If you don't know them, you know something about them. You know everything from who they dating, who they cheating with. You know everybody.
You know, like when people get new cars, or you know, so and so got a new car. You know, so and so work at Walmart now. You know, so and so it's that small.
Oh, somebody asked me what part of Mississippi I live in. I live right outside of Jackson. I live like 30 minutes north of Jackson. I'd rather be here than Jackson, though. Because half of them folks on Bill Collector don't even stay in Jackson.
They don't.
Half of them don't stay in Jackson. They stay in the suburbs. They don't stay in Jackson. They don't stay in Jackson. But hold up. I've never been to Mississippi. I'm scared of child. See, y'all need to stop talking about the Ku Klux Klan because I ain't never seen them around here. See, that's another thing. I know this ain't got nothing to do with what we talking about, but I'm gonna need for y'all to stop it with that because I ain't never seen the KKK here. I'm pretty sure they're here, but I've never seen none of that around here ever in life.
I'm glad you ain't seen them.
Now the microaggressions is on 10, but I ain't never seen none of that. However, because we're over the time, thank you, Rodney.
No problem.
I really appreciate this. I really had a good time with people.
I had a good time too.
For real.
Shut up too much. I was over here talking about people sucking dick and shit.
Listen, we do all that on Boys Night Out. You've been on Boys Night Out before. You know we do all that on well.
Right.
But I'm gonna be now that I got your number, I'm gonna be back in Houston soon.
Okay.
So hopefully you there because you know every time I come, you be gone.
I'm gonna win. The girls don't even know. Like, let me find me a little flight on Spirit for $69.50. Baby, she gone.
Not Spirit.
Baby, bags packed. Okay, well, you know, Spirit girl, you gotta take a personal in case you want to pay that $69 or whatever, girl. But girl, let me find me a little cheap flight, baby. I'll be in the win. I was actually thinking about going to Vegas.
I hate Spirit.
Huh?
I hate Spirit.
I have never had a bad experience with Spirit. I swear to God.
Listen,
I
the
never
thing I
have.
hate about Spirit, they trick your ass with them cheap ticket prices, but they don't tell you about everything that you got to pay for.
Now okay. If you're not familiar with Spirit Airlines, then it's not the airline for you. Because baby, you ain't girl. You damn near gotta pay for napkins. Quiet as it's kept. Like when I fly Spirit, I don't ask for shit. Okay, unless I know I'm paying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, unless I just want something. But other than that, like my only complaint with Spirit is those seats are really itty bitty. Like I'm
Like you got to
uncomfortable.
pay for seats, and
Yeah.
I don't have to do that on Southwest.
Right.
Because
I
take
would
Southwest
rather,
everywhere.
huh?
I pretty much take Southwest everywhere.
And your bags fly free Southwest too.
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Like I would rather like when if I'm like feeling myself and I don't feel like dealing with Spirit and I want to act bad and bougie. Like when I went to DC, I flew United there and Delta back. But like I was thinking about going to Las Vegas tomorrow because it's actually not that expensive. Even though it's tomorrow. But I would have to fly through Spirit. And I was like, girl, I don't know if I feel like dealing with Spirit. Because I don't feel like, because the thing is, when you do fly through Spirit, but like you said, you have to pay for everything. So if you want to check in a bag, if you want to do a carry-on bag. So it's like, I do have a bag, but I can only fit so much in that bag. So it's like, girl, I'm not paying. Then you got to pay for a seat. Like, sometimes it's like, it's better just to fly through United or Southwest because, hell, you might end up going cheaper anyways if you fly through them. But yeah, I never really have a big. I know what to expect when I fly Spirit. That's the thing. I know what to expect. I'm not getting on there with my hopes up high. I get my black ass on, sit down. I get where I'm going. I get my black ass off.
Listen, I flew Spirit this summer. I didn't want to, but I did. That was when I was on vacation. I had went to Alabama, then I had went to New York and New Jersey. And I think when I was coming out of New Jersey doesn't have Southwest.
Right.
So I flew Spirit to Atlanta. And my dad said, so who you flying with? I said, Spirit. He said, oh, Lord, why is you flying with Spirit? My dad did not want me to fly on Spirit. He did not want me to fly Spirit at all. Oh my God. I hate Spirit with a passion. Oh my God.
I see now I'm not gonna say her lie. I have seen the stories. I have seen the videos of people flights getting canceled, and girl, like it just be a mess. I don't know. Well, thank God. That never happened to me. The only thing that ever happened that had me frustrated when I was going to Vegas some months ago, my flight was supposed to leave like at 4, and no, I think it was supposed to leave like at 2, and they pushed it back to 4. Then they pushed it back to 5. Then they pushed it back to 6, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" They said it was the weather, which okay, girl, whatever. But that was like my worst experience. Other than that, I'll be fine.
See, you sound like my sister. See, my sister love flying Spirit, and she like, don't y'all sleep on the Holy Spirit now. Don't y'all sleep on the Holy Spirit. I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up.
And when you really think about it, besides the flight cancellations, you hear more stuff. To me, I feel like you hear more stuff about like racist shit happening with on Delta, American Airlines.
I hear a lot of bad shit about American Airlines. I refuse to fly with them. Now, I fly Spirit before American. I ain't gonna lie to you.
American damn near up there with Spirit, quiet as it's good. Girl, quiet as good. Spirit probably better than American Airlines.
I ain't even gonna lie.
One of Miami. Like, this is the thing. I know what flights I need to catch in order to save the most money. If I'm going to Vegas, I catch Spirit because that's going to be like the cheap flight.
Yeah.
If I don't want to Miami, I can fly American Airlines. If I'm going to New York, I can fly Spirit and fly into Newark and just catch the subway, or I can catch Delta and fly to LaGuardia. So I already have my. I think I'm a flight expert sometimes, Sean. But
hell, you always on a damn. People be saying I'm always on a plane. You are always on a plane.
I be trying to go. Girl, I be trying to go. You know, if I look into my account and girl, I got a couple of dollars that I can spare, I'm like, okay, girl, she going. Like
You sound like me because I buy a ticket to Atlanta in a minute, and people be like, "Why are you going to it? Why are you flying to Atlanta? It's just a 6-hour drive." And I said, "Just a 6-hour drive when I could just get on this plane for 1 hour."
I hate drive. That's a long drive. I barely can make it to Dallas. Anything past Dallas is like 3.5, 4 hours from Houston. Anything past that, babe, we got to fly.
My homeboy, he was in the chat. Josiah, he live in Houston too, and he.
You know, it's so crazy. I don't really go out that much, but I don't recall ever see. I don't know if he go out or not, but I don't ever recall seeing him out at all.
He be out.
That's so crazy. So I hear about
I came. Because when I came there back in August, he had me out the whole time. I was tired as hell when I got back home.
It was like when I found out people live in Houston, I'm like, I've never bumped into you at the mall. I ain't never bumped into you at the bar.
Yes.
It's so weird. Like, I never know these people live in Houston. Oh, I never see them out.
Yeah, Josiah is in Houston. Maddie is in Houston. Like,
I've never seen Maddie out ever.
All them in Houston.
So crazy.
But you know, like I said though, I do intend on coming back. It's probably either maybe January or March, sometime in between there.
Okay.
I'm trying to see. But yeah, like
I know I'm probably going to DC in March. I know I'm probably going to DC in January.
Oh Lord.
You know, DC is my spot. You know, so
that's how I feel about Atlanta. Like you always go to DC, I always go to Atlanta. Like,
I was thinking about either going to DC or Atlanta for Pride. I know. You know, for MLK Pride in Atlanta in January.
I never been to a Pride. I have, and I'm so serious when I tell people that, they think I'm lying, but I have never in my life been to a Pride.
I have. You know, it's so crazy. I don't want to lie. I don't know if I've ever been to. I can't remember. I don't think I've ever been to a white Pride. Like, I only participate in the black prides. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. So anytime I go to a pride, it's always you know, we still segregate. The girls don't realize it, but I don't know why people think that like, girl, we still segregated in the LGBTQ.
Right.
Just because we gay, that girl, they give a fuck about us being black. These white people don't give a fuck about us. Like, we still a nigga to them. Like, we just gay. That's it. But anyway, Michelle, I'm getting off subject. But yeah, you need to go to a pride. It's
everybody says that. Like,
it be some shit going on depending on where you go.
Because Jamar was telling me that he was gonna have me go to a pride. I think that was him and Josiah. They both said that because I honestly never been, because they've had prides in Jackson, and I'm not. If I'm going to a pride, I'm not going to that one.
Right. You know, so crazy. Like, I don't really go to the prides here in Houston, like the Black Pride, or I went to the White Pride the very first time. Like, my very first time, like 15 years ago, and I never been back. It'd be because they have it in Houston to be hot in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the summer. But yeah, I love a pride. I love me an old nasty pride. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, like I do want to go to a pride at least one time. I'm in my 30s, so why not go?
Why not? And the reason why I like the one in the sun. I like the one in MLK. I mean MLK, the one for MLK, because it's cold. I like cold weather because I want to put on coats and do all that.
You know, I be seeing your little coats and stuff, and I be like, I might have to ask him where he got them coats from. Cause
you know, so crazy. I can say it right now. You know, so crazy. Some of my coats I actually get from the women's section. Believe it or not. They gonna swap it out. I'm a cross dresser now, child. I'm a cross dressing girl. No, girl, believe it or not, girl, I get some of my coats from the women's section.
I never would have known that.
Mm-hmm.
I never would have known that.
I just got another coat, but I got that coat from Zara. But
okay.
That came from the men's section, and I'm not a big, you know, I got one coat from like JCPenney. I get my clothes from anywhere pretty much.
You see, I'm sitting up here like, I be looking when you be posting shit on Instagram. I'm like, I like that jacket.
I get some of my
Where
cookies
he
in the
got it
winter season.
from?
The girls don't know. You got a shot. You got a shot. You know, I feel like if I could butch it up a little bit, if I can still butch it up a little bit now if it's not no shade. If it looked like a woman jacket, I'm not gonna get it. But if it's something I feel like I can kind of butch up a little bit, the girl she'll get her, and I'll throw her on. Now some might think I got this turquoise jacket. The girls might say, "Girl, they still look like a bitch jacket." I didn't care because it was still cute to me, and I wore the shit out of that coat when I was.
Like I said, I never would have known that there was like some of those coats came from the women's section. I never would have thought that. Like ever would have thought that at all. Like,
yeah, child.
You telling me something new? Cause I be looking, I be like, okay. Cause I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of coats. Like
right.
my ass be wearing Adidas jackets and shit or hoodies like
right.
You know.
But the only time I even wear most of my stuff was like when I go out of town. No tea, no shade. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like in Houston it's a little different. Like I feel like if I walked around with a big turquoise jacket on in Houston, the girls would be like, "Girl, where is she going? Like, where is she going?" Like if I wore it in like Atlanta, I feel like if I wore it like in Atlanta, maybe the girls will get it. New York, the girls will get it. DC, the girls might get it. But I feel like here in Houston, if I have to pull back a little bit on the way I dress because I feel like some of the girls. Sometimes I feel like I do a lot, but I don't do a lot.
I don't think so because
they just don't do nothing.
I need to take some of your pointers because I remember when I came to New York one year, and it wasn't my first time coming to New York, but all the times I came there, it was hot. So I came in October. And I'm thinking it was still hot here, but I only brought a small like Adidas jacket. So I'm like, okay, it ain't gonna be about shit up there. I get there, we get off the plane here, it's hot as hell.
Right.
We get off the plane up there, it's cold as hell.
Right.
And that little Adidas windbreak ain't doing nothing for me. And I'm walking around like I'm finna die. I'm like,
yeah, that's another. I'm big on checking the weather when I go out of places because I be trying to figure out. Because I know, like, girl, you can be hot as hell. Get your ass to, like you said, New York, and it be cold in October or cold in November.
Yeah, because, I be thinking about the weather here. I'm like, in October down here, it's either going to be pleasant, it's going to be warm, or it's going to be hot. It's going to be warm.
Right.
You know what I mean? And sometimes we don't even get a winter until December or sometimes January.
Okay. We wear thong summers and shorts sometimes in December. Why does this help?
Really do, though. Really do. Like, for real. Like, but we done got all that goes. Okay. That gonna show you that we really having a good time up here. Like, so we should do another video, like what we talking about right now. Not necessarily about the reality show shit, but just normal shit like what we talking about right now. That because I see they like it and shit in the chat. They don't want us to end it, but I had already told this man before we came up here. I said I'm not gonna keep you all night because I know you probably got shit to do. I'm not gonna keep you on here all night.
I wouldn't mind, but I am about to go over to my sister's house.
Yes,
to take my nieces some stuff. I bought them some little dolls. I don't know if they know. Do they know about those? I don't know if you heard of those dolls. They call Hyperlin. I can't pronounce it. It's not no baby doll. I don't buy my nieces baby dolls for the people that don't know. It's like these. It's like these black dolls, but they have they come in like different shades of black.
Oh wow.
Some of the people may know what I'm talking about. You can get them. They. I think my sister put me onto them. They're originally like $100 and something for a doll. Right. Right, but I got them from Target for like $17 and some change the other day.
Oh, okay.
Ain't that a big ass difference? Ain't that a big ass difference?
Right.
I'm gonna look for the girls. I'm a little frugal with my money. So, girl, $100 something for a doll? Ooh.
Listen, I asked my brother and sister the other day. Back in October, I said, "Now, what do the kids want for Christmas?" Because they both got one child each. My sister got a son, and one of my brothers got a daughter. I said, now, if y'all don't respond, them kids ain't getting shit.
Okay. I'm talking about my nieces. The lost thing out their minds. My nieces told us they want Apple pens. Girl, you 5 and 7. what y'all doing with an Apple Pen? Then my other niece told me it's these pens that you can like do art with. They're called Posca pens. You know, you know how much stuff with that you can get different in different quantities. The one that she wants, $89.99.
Listen, I would have been like, girl, what?
Girl.
That's why I wouldn't have came down to my sister when I asked her what her son wanted. She said, "Oh, you can go to Dollar General and buy him a Hot Wheels car. He'll be fine with that. You can just buy him anything." I said, "Oh, that's easy." And then she said, "Now, your niece, on the other hand, I don't know. She kind of expensive." I said, "Well, her daddy need to tell me what she want because I don't know what she want. And if he don't, get cheap."
Right. I don't think that. I don't know, Chad. And then my niece actually called Tatum. She actually called me the other night, and she was like, "Uncle Rodney, what are you doing?" I was like, "Just watching TV." And she wants this. It's a 3D pen or something. So she was literally taking screenshots of the pen that she wanted, and she was texting me the pens. Like, "Did you get it, Uncle Rodney?" I was like, "I see it, but girl, like I said, Tatum, what are you gonna do with an Apple pen, girl, Posca pens, and a 3D pen?" She said she gonna use them.
Expensive taste, child. Expensive.
Girl!
She get it from you. She get it from you.
I said, girl, I was thinking in my head, girl, you don't have Uncle Rodney. Girl, that's the OnlyFans. Girl, you gonna have our Uncle Rodney having some old ass man over here rub on my thigh just to buy you a fucking Apple pen, girl? Cause I ain't got it. Okay? You gotta get her hoeing. Girl, just for some Christmas gifts, no ma'am. Girl, no.
Lord, well, with that right there being said, we about to go on and get up out of here. So, like I said, Rodney, I enjoyed this. I really did. We had a good time up here. We'll do another video. Not housewives and all that shit related.
Okay.
We don't do no shit like that. Like we'll just do a video just talking about some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But before you go, let the people know where they can find you in case they're not familiar with you.
Yes, you can find me at Rodney. My YouTube channel is called Rodney the Voice. Also, my Instagram is Rodney the Voice, and also Twitter is Rodney the Voice. So all things like, see, I try to keep my shit simple. These other girls, they won't have different names on everything. But it's Rodney the Voice. And it's spell the ghetto way. Shout out to Nate Love. T-H-A, not T-H-E. You know, I like to do a little extra with my shit. So it's Rodney the Voice.
Listen, I'm here for it. Well, all right, y'all. We are done here tonight. Like I said, I appreciate Rodney for coming on for doing this because this was like a spur of the moment thing that I just came up with at the top of my head, and I'm glad that he agreed to do it. And like I said, we're gonna do more videos. It don't even have to be nothing like this. It'll be something like some other shit. But we're gonna do more videos like this. I got direct contact with him now, so you know, this nigga do not look at DMs.
I was like, Scotty, child, just take my number down, cause be too much for me. I don't be in my DMs like that, child. Cause if ain't nobody trying to, let me shut up. Go.
Bye, y'all. We're done for the night. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.